Welcome to this episode of The Dotted Line, where we're doing a short run series trying to help you upskill in a weird post-pandemic world when it comes to job hunting and the sort of skills that you're going to need to help you navigate getting the job that you want. Or if you're looking for somebody to hire, then this will hopefully help you as well, with a few sort of hints and tips on what to get away with and what you can't get away with. In this episode, we're talking about video interviews. Now, video interviewing is all the rage because people can't meet each other very well at the moment. So it's really important to make sure that when you present yourself on a video interview, that you are presenting the best possible version of yourself. So if you're conducting the interview, you've got a couple of different options on how to start and what format to use. There's a number of different platforms out there, like these ones all here, all real platforms. Each of them have varying degrees of quality and varying features that you can add to it. So for example, with Teams, you can actually put in there different backgrounds, or you can blur your background, and it's all these things. For me personally, I prefer a non-blurred background when I'm being interviewed, because that gives me a chance to highlight a little bit of my personality without going ooh and throwing it in people's faces. So for example, if you have a look at the background that I've got here, which is what I usually use for interviews, you can see I've got over here little baby Yoda, and I've got my degrees on the wall, and then over here I've got a great big movie poster. And what this does is gives a bit of an impression as to the sort of person that I am and the sort of things that I enjoy, without it being really overtly in your face, like having a TARDIS background, for example. The other thing to remember that most people aren't aware of is that you need to be lit really well when you're doing these interviews. And there's a couple of reasons for this. One, it's easier for your camera to pick up the information so that the image that they're seeing is the right image. But the other is because research shows better looking people tend to land jobs more often. So you need to do everything you can to make yourself look good. So for me, I've got a 3 light setup here, and I'll run that through for you really quickly. Basically, I've got a main light here behind the camera. I've got a fill light here, which is the window, and then I've got a big main light up here, which is a backlight. And this makes sure that the person in the middle is being stood out. And so what I'll do is I'll run through some samples so you can see what it looks like with each of these lights taken off. So you can see exactly what it's like when people go, oh yeah, no, lighting's bad. I apologize in advance. So this is without any fill light on the side. Essentially the curtains here are now shut. If you open them up, you can get an idea as to how much extra light comes into this space. The thing to remember about different light sources is that they actually have different color temperatures, so it changes a little bit how your screen and your camera are going to react to. This is what happens when you don't have a backlight or a fill light as well, where you're just using the main light that's coming in from the front. It creates a whole bunch of sort of harsh lines around the face, and it makes shadows look a lot more elongated, which is what the fill light basically cuts down on. It makes you look like Donald Trump, and right now I feel a lot like Donald Trump, and I apologize for that profusely. This is what the setup looks like without having that front light to fill in the space out there. So you have some really harsh lines, but at the same time, with a backlight and a fill light, your camera creates artifacts, which is what this little thing is right here on my shoulder. That's actually the light catching off the camera lens and how the computer chip processes it, which is where you get lens flare from, just in case you wondered how J.J. Abrams did all that stuff in Star Trek. When you turn on that front light, it fills in the space and it clears up the shadows an awful lot, and it gives you a lot more of a professional look to what it is that you're doing. If, like me, you wear glasses normally, you might want to take them off if you've got a light behind you, because the light will end up reflecting whatever's directly in front of it, which is why I'm not wearing my glasses at the moment. The other thing to try and remember is to have your camera up there a little bit, just sort of above your eye line, and that's so that you can look up towards it. Now, there's a couple of reasons for this. There's the psychology of the person who is on the other end of the call, feeling like they're a little bit more important because you're looking up to them, but there's also the fact that looking up to a camera elongates how your body and your face look on screen. So when you are staring up towards a camera, this feels longer, and you don't notice things like the double chin, which you do when the camera is down lower, which I'm not going to take a photo of or show you because that's a cruel thing to do. So hopefully that's got you all set up now for how to handle those video calls. If you've got any questions or comments, drop them in the box below. I'm happy to answer anything that you've got. Otherwise, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And until next time, I will catch you later.